Hey, welcome to the Tim and Gugabe podcast. This is Tim, and I'm here with Gugabe. How are you doing, man?
Yeah, not too bad. It's a bit late notice this one, but I don't know. We've both been busy. Travel.
Yeah, apologize to the viewers. I did a recap video and kind of talked about it, but I was in Vegas for the event. Gugabe was there too, and went to the event. Hopefully, we did not contract coronavirus, but uh, it was a good card. We won't talk too much about it, just so we can kind of move on because it's late in the week already. But how you get back to the States? All right, and how's Australia going?
Yeah, fine. Currently, we've been sent home from work for self quarantine or whatever, so that's a thing. Yeah, so it should be interesting. Nice to see this UFC card on the weekend is going forward, or at least is as of now. Um, I think UFC London could be, or UFC England. I think it's in London, but I can't be sure. I'm not sure exactly which city might be off, just because I've got a feeling. But otherwise, it should be interesting.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like for people who don't know yet, so the Brazil card coming up, and we'll just talk about the coronavirus and how it might affect a few events just for like 5 minutes, and then we'll move on to the card. But it sounds like the event in Brazil this weekend they're doing behind closed doors. I think at the original venue or somewhere in Brazil, one of the two, and then the Columbus card and the Portland card, which are all coming up in the next couple weeks, those are going to be held at the Apex, which I figured they'd do. Like, the UFC, they're going to try to
Yeah,
find ways to make money. That's just how they are.
true.
Which isn't a bad. I mean, honestly, it helps the fighters too. Like, I mean, the fighters aren't making money if they're not fighting. So,
Yeah, and also like I know people have worked in sort of the TV broadcast sports industry, and like the cost of cancelling a slot, particularly when there's something the slots are going to be a premium because NBA is off and all that, is going to be a lot higher than just missing out on gate.
oh yeah, for
In
sure.
terms of
Like,
like penalty fees,
they're a big deal.
yeah. Like I think London. My curiosity is going to be if London goes ahead, which is annoying because I've got a lot of bets on London. But yeah, I felt like the current sort of American continental cards will be okay.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
Um,
that's my gut
but
feeling.
the Brooklyn card is. I don't think it's going to happen personally. I mean, it's
Or Khabib,
yeah. So
yeah,
it's currently what is it, March 12th, and the Khabib card.
or April 18th.
It's like yeah. I mean, a lot of like I think in New York they already canceled anything over 500 people. So it's like I don't know. That's just a tight. I mean, it's in a month. That's a very tight
Yeah,
window for like all of a sudden there to be a full scale UFC event. Um, so there is a chance Khabib and Ferguson is canceled again, and I don't know if they'll do this because they might want to make a bigger event for it. But then on the flip side, I was thinking in my mind, if there's nothing else on, you could still sell insane pay-per-views. What if they did Khabib and Ferguson in the Apex? Like no crowd. Like imagine if that is finally when we got the fight. That would be fucking hilarious.
yeah. I think that could work. Or at least like some sort of 20 people each sort of crowd situation. I think would be great. Just mic it up well. Just the Dagestani crowd going off.
Yeah, it's like they would miss out on the gate, but if you really think about it, the pay-per-views with no
Yeah,
sport going on in America especially, like, I feel like that I don't think it honestly might make up for any lost gate because I just feel like there will be a demand and there's not gonna be many sports going on, so the betting market, might I feel like we could see changes in lines too because I think more casual money
yeah,
will be coming in?
yeah. True. Yeah. Pick of the NBA off. Like, yeah, that's gonna be a big and even globally too. So yeah, so it could be good for the UFC just in the sense that it suddenly gets a lot more market share. And yeah, I'm guessing also even like the ESPN sort of Sports Center and all that. Like surely in a week from now, the NBA is still going to be cancelled, and they're going to be talking about UFC shit a lot more than they would normally, just because it's on.
Yep.
At this point in the cycle, like MLB's off, hockey's off, NBA's off, soccer
That
is kind of on, but
They have pretty much all that's going on right now in America is like there's some golf going on, and
yeah,
NASCAR's NASCAR's kind of like popular with some people in America, and that is no fans are allowed. So,
Yeah,
yes, I mean, yeah, it'll be interesting. I don't think there's any way to predict something like, exactly how shit will go, but I also do fear, and I think it's very possible that if one I mean, I guess the UFC is different because it's just a collection of individuals who's not teams, but I feel like if one person tests positive, shit could happen, you know? Like, um, because all it took was like a couple people from the Utah Jazz in the
yeah,
NBA for them to just close it down completely. But the UFC is different, and it's not like I feel like there's not as much scrutiny or people like if some random person in some camp at AKA tested positive for the coronavirus, it wouldn't hit the mainstream media. So I feel like the UFC can get away with shit easier than the other
yeah.
sports. But
Then again,
I don't know if that makes sense to you, but yeah.
like if you're talking like Brazilian jiu-jitsu sparring or something like that, you pretty much got if you've sparred with somebody, if somebody with coronavirus in the same class as you, chances are you've also got coronavirus because you've got such massive exposure to each other.
Yeah, I mean,
Compared to like other sports where it's just like, basketball's physical, but it's not. You're not rolling all over the top of each other in the same way.
yeah, it's like you are literally putting people in triangles. You're supposed to like, it's. I mean, it's the most head-to-head contact and just bodily contact you could have in any sport.
Like I was talking briefly to a guy who was a jiu-jitsu gym yesterday, and they're just like, yeah, this could be really, really bad for owning a jiu-jitsu gym.
Yeah,
Even if it's like a 3 4 month period, people just don't want to have like unnecessary contact, and
class
jiu-jitsu is probably the most unnecessary contact.
classes at my gym are canceled. They got canceled here.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I think they're allowing an open mat for, like, people to go if they want, but it's not like I you know what I mean? But I don't think it's
yeah,
going to be a thing where people are, like, going organized and, at, like, prime time hours at, like, a 6 PM
yeah,
on a weekday when most people usually go after work.
yeah, 100%.
Um, so, yeah, it's interesting, but, I hope we still get the events, like, hopefully we get the one this weekend because I'm not going to act like I feel like everyone on Twitter is now like randomly a coronavirus expert, and I'm not going to act like one. But like just like one little quick story, my sister's boyfriend's dad is an epidemiologist, and
Yep.
he sent me this, which for the younger listeners, or if you don't know what that means, that just like is literally the study of infectious diseases. So it's kind of like what's going on now, and he sent me this 3 weeks ago, and I kinda rolled my eyes at it, but he goes,
Yeah,
"Everyone should consider" this is February 25th, 9:27 AM. "Everyone should consider coronavirus is very understated in the news. It's not gonna be contained anytime soon. Preparation includes 2 weeks of bottled water, toilet paper, plastic bags, non-perishable goods, medications, masks, gloves, Tylenol, thermometer, and any medical supplies to take care of yourself. It could bring down utilities and other services for 2 weeks. People in highly trained jobs who get sick can't come to work. This will probably happen within the next month or 3 weeks," and it's literally, like, 3 weeks, so he kinda called it, and I don't know much about it, but I kind of rolled my eyes when I saw that text, and now I'm like, "Oh, shit." So who knows how bad it gets. Hopefully, it stays contained, but stay safe out there to the listeners, and, um, hopefully Australia's good there too.
yeah, all good. I think kangaroos can transmit it, so we're okay. But yeah, I'm sure it will spread through the population. Or again, from my perspective, is it's going to be a global epidemic. People are going to have it,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's just going to be a thing. But yeah, it is what it
It's
is.
gonna be, like, a bigger than the flu season type you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not like
Um,
it's bubonic plague.
yeah, yeah.
Like I've done a bunch of history. Yeah, I've done a bunch of history. It's not like some of these things where like fucking 50% of the population dies horribly.
No, it's like old people or people who have weak immune systems or just like have cancer already like sick, they're more exposed. But I'm not gonna. At least that's what I believe.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not
my
gonna.
understanding.
I'm not gonna act like an expert on this, but it kind of sounds like young dudes who are listeners probably who watch
Yeah,
MMA. well, it would probably just be like the equivalent of having the flu. But
Yeah,
so stay safe out there. We'll stop being so serious now. We'll move on to the card, but I figured we should at least just kind of talk about that because it might affect the event, you know. But
yep,
let's go best fight odds order.
yeah, sure, that works.
Macedo and Malecki. I mean, a number one contender fight here.
I'm a little tempted by Malecki just because she's fucking massive. Yeah, Machado's giving up like 5 inches, 7 inches of height, 10 inches of reach, that sort of stuff. Machado isn't exactly like a very functional fighter, but I don't know. I'm just pass. It's too days, too
Yes,
garbage.
yeah. I don't even know what we're talking about. Silva
Like,
and or do you want to keep talking about it?
yeah, just like any time you get that big a size difference, you kind of go look at it and go, hmm. But like, yeah, Malecki is so raw. Who
I
fucking
watched a
knows?
little bit. No, I don't, it's just like when you have lower level skills here, and Macedo's also just like a random girl who throws spin kicks and guard subs. You can just get like random variants, you know. Um,
Pretty much.
Silva and Dvorak. This is kind of an interesting fight. I I'm not going to play it because I think there are question marks. And the last time I kind of played a question mark was Gabriel Silva against Kyler Phillips. And then Phillips kind of ended up really exceeding my expectations and looked quite good. And I felt like he wasn't that good on tape, but maybe my read was off or maybe he just improved. But I kind of think Bruno Silva should win this. I just like I just like Dvorak looked okay, but it's just he wasn't fighting very good guys, and he there isn't much tape on his defensive grappling. I saw like a 20-second sequence, and I didn't like what I saw, but who the fuck knows, you know? Um, I don't know. I think it's hard to know who's going to win this. What do you think?
Yeah, I kind of agreed. Like, I think Bruno Silva's a solid grappler. So it's based on sort of who's had success against, and like even Khalid Taha's fucking massive, and he still won that round against him. But
Yeah, he was winning
like,
for a little while, like you know.
yeah, he won a round, and like, yeah, he got knocked down pretty early, but you know, he gassed badly. But Khalid Taha's probably like a big, he's a big bantamweight, and Silva's kind of just in that sort. Silva's just sort of an average sized flyweight who just doesn't like cutting weight. So I mean, but yeah, and Dvorak seems okay. Yeah, if gun to my head, I'd probably lean Silva just because I tend to lean grappling over striking.
Yeah,
But I
especially
have
when
no,
like, kind of lower level.
pretty much. Like, yeah, this one and like Malecki Machado, like gun to my head, I'd probably say the dog who's massive would probably be the right spot, but I can't. There's too many unknowns. Same for Silva Dvorak. It wouldn't shock me if Silva just came out and grapple dominated them.
Yeah,
And it wouldn't shock me if Dvorak could just stuff takedowns or Silva just kind of succeeded for 7 minutes and then just gassed because Silva's got kind of a history of doing that.
yeah,
Um, yeah, that's pretty much my immediate feeling. Even like I didn't mind the GTD at plus. His like briefly at plus 140 just because it's flyweight.
yeah.
Even then, it's just like they both seem it could be pretty binary. Like you never know if Bruno Silva just turns out to be massively ahead of Dvorak as a grappler.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things, like, I see, like, on paper, just, like, stylistically, Silva doesn't throw a ton of volume, and Dvorak, you know, at least
Yeah.
kinda mixes it up on the feet and keeps up a little bit of a pace, you know? But then so, like, I guess he could win, or maybe he just shows up and is very good, but then, like you said, Silva he's had success in the cage with grappling against like a pretty good fighter, and I don't know. He went to the cards with Casey Kenny in a close fight. I think it was a draw. So I don't know. I feel like he's a little more proven.
I think it might be cancelled. I think the card might be cancelled. Just looking at Twitter. Give
Oh
me a
really?
second. Yeah, give me a second. Translate the shit in Portuguese. Yeah, UFC just released a statement. Yes, the governor of the federal God, can't just cancelling all public pre-fight activities.
Oh, you just scared
Fucking
everyone on the podcast.
yeah, just it's like 10 minute like UFC Brazil just released something in Portuguese, and people are reacting poorly in the comments. So it's just like,
I think they're canceling everything related to like media and
yeah,
stuff.
all pre-fight.
all the pre-fight stuff, no fans. It's just closed doors. It's like basically just having it in like a gym, you know?
Nothing of value was lost.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean,
So
I'm not saying it isn't fun going down from workout, but just we're good.
yeah. Well, Silva Dvorak, I think it's kind of a pass. I would lean
Yeah.
Silva just based on just I also favor grapplers who are a little more proven, but who the fuck knows? This is Dvorak could show up awful or he could show up pretty good.
Pretty much.
Moroz and Silva, I have no idea what's going to happen here either.
I have no strong opinion.
Yeah. Let's move to the next fight. Fuck this fight. Barzola and Yahya, I have strong
Yeah.
opinions here. I played Barzola early, and he's kind of getting steam now. But I bet Yahya very well. Like I hit him hard against Sanders. I hit him hard against who's the guy he beat before that? Russell Dome.
Yep.
And then I maxed Simone over him, and I'm hitting Barzola pretty heavy on him. And I feel like Yahya. I just feel like he has a very narrow win condition because I don't think he can hold Barzola down. He looks too much like too good of a scrambler, in my opinion, off the Evloev fight. And on the feet, Barzola's at an advantage. He just lands way more strikes. He has a huge cardio edge and just kind of like I feel like just like an athleticism edge on the feet. And I just feel like Yaya's gonna have to sub him. I mean, I guess he could win a decision. Like shit happens, but I feel like that's if it goes to the cards, Barzola probably wins, you know? And
Yeah.
then it's just I don't think Yahya can sub him. I just like the way I've seen Barzola kind of scramble on the mat, and I feel like he doesn't just have to sprawl and brawl. I think he could even land takedowns himself and stay safe. And I noticed going through Yaya's record that he doesn't really beat like he doesn't really sub a ton of very good guys. Like he subbed a bunch of guys who weren't grapplers or who've been subbed like 11 times. Like I know he's credentialed, but I just feel like Barzola is a very seasoned grappler. I think he can avoid it, and that's really all he has to look out for. And sorry for hijacking this, but also Barzola does tend to give up his back a little bit. But Yahya doesn't put in hooks like a Maia. Like I kind of thought that at first, but then once I taped, if you watch the Tanaka fight, Yahya couldn't really come close to subbing him, and Tanaka did the same thing Barzola does by giving up his back, except Barzola does it better. And Barzola also like when he was giving his back up against Igla, he keeps his elbows kind of close to his knees to anticipate a hook coming in. So it also tells me like he's aware of the jujitsu concepts coming his way. And I think he's just going to take over. But sorry for that. Go ahead.
Yeah, just pretty much my same opinion broadly. I think I give Yahya a little bit more respect just as a sort of jank submission dude. Yeah, he's a very high level jiu-jitsu dude, but like yeah, it's not really if you can't really guarantee top time, you're kind of relying on like a big reversal or a sub or like guard sub or something, and just nah. Like I mean,
It's a thing where like because I kind of felt like these like wrestle boxer type of guys are the guys who really fuck Yahya up. like uh and he hasn't really fought that many of them. Like Soto kind of, and Soto beat him. And then Simone's one, and then Mendez is one, and like I feel like Barzola can do what they did fine. Like I don't know, but and I just feel like Yahya usually looks like plus 500 versus those type of guys, and I don't know. Like Yahya really doesn't have that many great wins either. Like I know he's kind of had like a not the you'd think at bantamweight that he would fight like a string of kind of harder people, but he really just hasn't. I think he's going to get beat up here.
yeah, that's fair. I can see logic. Yeah, I've generally liked Barzola in the past. I think I played Barzola against Evloev because like that was just a very close fight. I think I played against Moffat. Like yeah, I usually have played Barzola because I just like his attributes.
Yeah.
Because yeah, he'll put up takedowns. He'll keep a good pace. He'll hit takedowns. he's not an elite wrestler, but like he'll just he'll just
Good.
keep being busy, and he'll just act to win rounds.
I mean, the thing is, dude, he fully wrestled with Evloev. Like Evloev went 4 of 11 takedowns and held him down just for a little bit. And Barzola took him down when he actually went for it. If you remember, like you remember the
Yeah,
big. It's like
yeah,
I think Barzola is actually a very good wrestler. He doesn't have the best top control, but that's against other guys who can scramble out. Yahya plays guard, so he can get top time here too. And he lands 4.65 takedowns per 15 minutes, and Yaya's takedown defense is 22% because and it just looks sloppy. Like Simone was able to like use disengaged takedowns and kind of lay on top, and I just feel like it's going to be a repeat of the Simone fight. But
yeah.
um,
Agreed.
we on Kunchenko and Dos Santos. I don't really trust either side here, but I lean Kunchenko as the dog.
I
Um,
took
yeah,
Kunchenko like plus 130-ish, just like small. Yeah, if Kunchenko just kept the more consistent work rate, I'd favour him quite heavily.
yeah, he's a
But
better.
he just, well, he's better at pretty much everything. To be honest, he just doesn't do enough a lot of the time.
Yeah.
No, that's all my feeling about. Like, I could easily see him giving up a stupid split decision here.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, for
I
sure.
just feel like he is the more functional fighter. I've never been a huge fan of what Zaleski's trying to do. No crowd might help because it's still hometown fighter, and Kunchenko, he's good. Yeah, he's good. And even like Burns, Burns kind of had to take him down to pick up those rounds, I guess.
He fucked up Burns late, like, bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did. Yeah,
When he,
and
like,
like
actually, like, lets his hands go and his strikes and his kicks, he's good. He's very good.
yeah. But like
But
I played Thiago Alves against him a while ago.
that was the
I am
worst
still
ever.
pissed off about that decision. Like Alves probably should have been a plus 400 if Kunchenko did check consistently. But in
Yeah.
my opinion, Kunchenko gave away that fight, and he got bailed out in the scorecards. But
Kunchenko did nothing for 2 rounds, and then he realized he was being an idiot, and then just, like, whooped his ass round 3, and it probably should have been 2-1 Alves if it wasn't
it should
interrupted.
have.
Yeah.
Like round one, Alves was like 12-6 strikes, like four,
Yeah.
and somehow Kunchenko got that round because Kunchenko decided to start doing things at 4:40 of the round.
And it was in
And
Russia.
like,
Yeah.
oh, that too. But yeah, but those two things together is like Alves kind of like won the first 4 minutes of that fight just by default because Kunchenko was doing nothing.
Yeah. It was,
Like
that's
that
kind of
was a
my
touch of
I think everyone gets this fight. It's kind of just like Kunchenko is probably better, but is if he fights like an idiot, which he has like half his UFC career,
yeah,
then then he might lose. But I do think it's important to point out that in a fight like this, at least it probably helps Kunchenko considering how close the odds are of not having the crowd pop because I think it matters, even if it's like
yeah,
4%. We've talked about this, and there's not going to be a crowd now. And I think in a fight like this, like probable competitive striking fight, that could really matter if they were in there. It's hard to quantify it, but like when the odds are close, I do think that little bit of a percentage matters. You know?
yeah. And my gut feel is kind of like I feel like Kunchenko round three is essentially bolted on, and I think round one and round two are going to be more up in the air.
Yeah.
Like I can't see Kunchenko letting Zaleski beat the shit out of him. Put it that way. Like I could see Kunchenko not doing much for the first round, but I
Yes.
can't see him letting Zaleski completely annihilate him.
Yeah.
He's not
Kunchenko's
that
too good
stupid.
technically. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
Like
So like probably even if he gives up round one, it's gonna be like giving up like a 15-6 strike, 12 sort of round one. It's not gonna be him just getting like outstruck by 80.
it's gonna be one of those ones where you're like, "Fuck!" Like it's 10-9 Zaleski, I guess, because Kunchenko didn't do anything.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's my view. Because like just thinking numbers wise, I feel like round three Kunchenko will be pretty much like an 80% round at least.
Yeah.
Just because he does start coming forward each other. So and the first 2 rounds are probably going to be kind of like 60-40 Zaleski best case scenario. I can't see Zaleski running. I can't see Zaleski dominating this fight, but I can see Kunchenko dominating it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I played him as a dog. I'm just like I feel like you got a good chance of a wobbly sort of split decision sort of thing, but I feel like there's like 25% chance that Zaleski Kunchenko actually does shit. While Zaleski's best case scenario was kind of just like win a split.
I could never play like Zaleski minus 140, in a
Yeah,
strike.
100%.
But like I just could never do that. It's a high variance striking fight that's
Yeah,
like his win condition, but I mean, obviously KOs can happen in the sport, but his win condition is probably a very close decision. And
yeah,
against a fighter who's probably better, but will sometimes not do shit. So I think I think Kunchenko's the side personally. Like so I think your plus 130 play was good. Um,
yeah.
but I'm not playing this fight. Ribas and Markos, I parlayed up Ribas with Dawson early on when she was like minus 240.
Yep.
Um, and like I wouldn't recommend using her as a parlay piece now. I do think she's gonna fuck Markos up though.
I've kind of been doing take lately. I'm just like good. I feel like that Dern fight was quite heavily Dern just kind of not giving a shit. Like she just
But that's
didn't
kind
look
of where
right.
Markos is all the time.
Yeah, but I trust Markos to have a bit more actual wrestling, a bit more actual striking, and all that.
Yeah.
And yeah, again, Dern was coming off pregnancy and all that sort of stuff, and like Dern just looked fat and flat.
Yeah. I think
I just have this weird feeling this is going to be competitive. Like if the plus 3.5 handicap opens at like evens or like plus plus Marcos plus 3.5 is like plus 120. I'll take that. Just because I feel like we saw against Ribas versus Maia, but Ribas can just kind of sit in the back. Something if she does actually get taken down.
that's the issue. That's the issue.
Yeah,
I don't think the striking is going to be competitive. Personally, like I mean, I
yeah,
could see her a
100%.
little bit, but Ribas will take over there. Um, I think Ribas can land takedowns here, but
Yeah,
my issue with her is if, and I even think she'll stop most of Marco's takedowns because Marcos doesn't land a ton. But if she just ends up on her back, which it could, because both of these girls will grapple at times, that's my issue. Is like she didn't work up to her feet for a full minute against Whitmire at the end
yeah,
of round one. But I still think that's kind of a narrow win condition, especially when it's not. I don't think Marcos is going to get it like top position at the very beginning of the round every round. So
yeah,
I feel like it will give like Ribas will still have time, even if she gets taken down later, to probably outstrike her, a while.
yeah,
So I think it's a bit of a narrow win condition, but I do think it's possible because I didn't like that she did that, but I still think she's got advantages in other areas too. Um,
yep,
but yeah, like
yeah.
I hear you. I wouldn't be shocked by a Marcos win, but I do think Ribas is like the better fighter overall. But
Yeah, I just think it could just be noodly. It could just be a sort of noodly, ugly sort of split, and I'm just not sure I'd want to be sitting on Ribas say when the ever current price. Like minus 200 is just fine, but just minus 400, almost minus 400.
yeah, like I'm not recommend tossing her in now. Like when it was like minus 230 or 40, I just tossed a little bit on the parlay leg, but nothing like crazy. Um, Formiga and Moreno, I have no idea what's going to happen here. I am awful. Like I'm good at calling Yahya fights. I am awful at calling Moreno fights, and I'm sitting this one out. I I kind of I would rather have the plus money here, honestly.
Yeah.
But dude, who the fuck knows? Like, I don't know. I think this is going to be kind of wild. What do you think?
I used to be pretty good at calling Moreno fights before his cardio went from being a massive liability to him being the Terminator.
Yes. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
like there's a bunch of fighters where just like I feel like I've got a pretty good grip at the mid career, but suddenly a physical attribute of this, which was like historically a big issue, just suddenly becomes a massive strength.
Yeah.
Like who's another one? Aljamain Sterling. I made a bunch of money off Aljamain Sterling in 2018. I lost a decent amount in 2019. Because
Yeah.
in
He ran
2019 he just turned into the best
Usman.
cardio bantamweight.
Yeah. He turned into like an Usman, like out of nowhere. Um,
Yeah,
just
and
like
like his
throw a ton of strikes on his feet too.
and like Aljo has lost like what 2 or 3 fights due to gassing.
Yeah.
Like
Now he.
prior to 2019.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same with Moreno. Like Moreno has lost multiple fights due to gassing,
I
and now
played.
you look at Moreno as of now.
I mean, that's what happened with me. I played Pantoja and I think Pettis was the dog in, so I can't remember. But I played
Yeah, Pettis like plus 120. I maxed him.
I played Pettis and Pantoja against him, and I was just like, "What are people thinking?" He went to LFA and looked good in that one fight, but it was like it's regionals. I'm not going to put
Yeah,
stock into that. I played Askarov against him and got lucky that it was a draw, even though Askarov still, like that fight was weird because he would win, like, the
Yeah.
first 3 minutes of the round, and then he would lose the last 2. It was kinda weird, but I still thought the way judging is, Moreno is going to get that decision. So
Yeah,
I got
100%.
and then I played Kai Kara-France against him, and I thought Kai Kara-France would just Moreno never landed, like, more than, like, 40 strikes on the feet in his entire career, and then he put up, like, 84. Just
Yeah.
like I was like, "What the fuck?" And so he clearly has improved, and, like,
But I'm
the
just
thing about Formiga, dude, he the his the what I don't like about him here is that his win condition's kind of limited. He doesn't land strikes. I know he kind of had success in a round or 2 with, like, a little bit of boxing on Figueiredo, but then he kinda mixed in the grappling, but I don't think he's landed 30 more than 30 significant strikes ever in a fight, and so I can't play him as a favorite. I just can't be, like, because it's not like Moreno's a terrible grappler.
is he? He's not very good positionally.
He's not,
He's
like,
not.
awful, awful. I mean, dude, he wrestled with Askarov, and Askarov's a good grappler.
Yeah, but like Askarov first 2 rounds kind of beat the shit out of him. Like, but won most of the grappling exchanges. Just got dropped twice and then just cardio deft.
Yeah, and then
Like I felt Askarov was pretty easily handling him in actual grappling.
he got the better of it, but Moreno still got some grappling success later, and it wasn't like he did, but it wasn't like Askarov's a pretty good grappler too. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just but that's the thing, like, I'm not saying he has to be a better grappler here. It's just if he can compete a little bit and give himself windows of opportunities, it'll get a little scary. I just I don't know. I just want I don't have a good feeling about this fight on either side.
Yeah, I'm playing Formiga sub light just because I don't like Moreno's positional game. I could say Moreno's getting himself into shit with like giving out the back or whatever. But yeah, honestly, no. Apart from that, no huge lanes. Like I favour Formiga, but not by much. And like Moreno's cardio could just suddenly fall off a cliff again. Who knows?
Yeah, what if he
Like
just
I'm always suspicious of those sorts of improvements.
Yeah, if he randomly just gets murdered now.
Yeah, it's just like, all right, Moreno just had 2 strange fights. Like, Moreno was a weird fighter. Like, at least 3, 4 years ago, I felt like it was pretty easy to get the pulse on him. But now, because it's just the cardio difference, and I think really the cardio difference has been the thing which has made the rest of his game happen.
Yeah.
Like, now that he just apparently is invulnerable to damage and doesn't get tired, he can just put up a lot more volume. It's not like he's technically improved his boxing that much. It's just when you truly don't give a shit what's coming back at you, it's a lot easier to box.
Yeah.
Like, I just feel like he's probably acquired some magical EPO or something. This has really opened up his game. Like, I'm not saying he's awful fighting wise, but he got dominated positionally a bunch in the past. Like, Ortiz essentially put a clinic on him before getting head kicks, and yeah, that's why I faded in the past. Like I played them pretty hard against Pantoja and against Pettis, and just weird fighter. So it wouldn't shock me if Omega just kind of gets it back 3 times and just kind of chills there or just gets a rear naked choke, but who
Yeah.
knows?
Yeah, it's weird just because, I mean, like, his cardio really, really improved, and he was, like, gone for a year, So, like, that
Yeah,
could have definitely happened. Like, I don't know, like, maybe he comes in more improved again, and, like, maybe he goes back to his old I could still see him getting dominated too. It's just
yep,
I could see a wide range of outcomes happening here, and I'm
yep,
not confident in either side. Um,
yep,
Makdessi and Trinaldo, it's gonna be a split decision it's gonna be a split decision. That's my prediction. Um, I do think something like a fight like this can really help Makdessi that the crowd's not gonna be there because Trinaldo has
yeah,
won multiple fights that he probably shouldn't have won because of crowd pop. Like, I mean, it just happened in Brazil.
yeah,
And, like, I but Trinaldo's weird though, like, even though his striking stats aren't good, he always just manages to kind of, like, still fight competitively with just about everyone, you know? Um,
yeah.
But I feel like Makdessi's kind of the better like striking ratio type of fighter, and I feel like he's like a better technical striker. But I think this is gonna be close. I think this is gonna be a competitive fight. I no strong opinions. If I were forced to play, I would play the dog here, but I have no action here.
Yeah, I played Makdessi for a little bit, plus 150. It's now called it's all bounced back and forth a bit, but yeah, I like Makdessi's ratios. I like his range game.
Yeah,
I think Trinaldo's durability is a little bit in the threat slightly. Like, I'm not saying he's not chinny, but just like Bobby Green had some big moments and that sort of stuff. And like, Trinaldo just seems to be producing split decisions lately. So if you can give me a plus 150 into what will probably be a split decision,
yeah.
like, yeah, even if he's got like magical robbery powers, like, fuck it. Yeah, I mean, even against like Hernandez, like, he dominated Hernandez in a lot of ways, but he still gave out split decisions because he wasn't working that hard.
Yeah, I mean, he landed the harder shots, it's just, like, neither of them landed much volume, so
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of expected it to be a weird decision going in, even
Oh,
though
true.
that that
Yeah.
val value side, Trinaldo all day for that Hernandez fight, and he probably should have gotten the decision, but it was still, like, so little activity. It was
Yeah.
almost like Romero Adesanya where you're like, "Who the fuck knows?" Like,
Yeah, I agree with that. My thing is more like, in terms of like actually what damage was done, Trinaldo dominated Hernandez, but like Trinaldo was happy to kind of watch his work because he was kind of like, well, I am winning this fight. He didn't really feel the need
yeah,
to expound upon it or
he I
consolidate it.
I rewatched that fight and he landed harder shots for sure.
He
Like
did.
they landed like the same, but he definitely landed harder shots. But it was still like too little of action to
Yeah.
be confident. But like as far as like a betting value side, he was like plus 200 or something
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
But
Like I hedged off a fair bit of my Hernandez reached like plus 200, like end of round two. And I hedged off a lot of my, I was quite heavy on Trinaldo and I hedged off quite a fair bit. But like, yeah, the fact that he was so low volume there kind of concerns me. I could just in terms of like I just can't see him putting a stamp on this fight unless he's taking Makdessi down. He doesn't really seem to be going for those so much anymore. So it's just like I feel like yeah, you're probably getting a split decision. I'll take the plus 150 to a split decision.
yeah, it's no, I agree. The thing about Trinaldo is I find his fights hard to predict because he doesn't land a lot of raw volume, and a lot of the people who I talk with who are kind of stat guys like me, they really pay attention to kind of raw volume, so they'll bet against Trinaldo a lot. But then you'll find Trinaldo in a lot more competitive fights, kind of like Darren Till in a way, where like Gastelum has had the raw volume advantage, but even though Trinaldo and Till both land like low amounts of strikes, they also don't get hit. So they just find themselves in and they're kind of dangerous too. So it sometimes makes the other guy reluctant, and so they find themselves in a lot of competitive fights. So I expect this to just be like close, you know. Um,
Yeah, pretty much.
yeah, so I think that's just kind of how Trinaldo always is. He just finds himself in very close fights, and I expect that to happen again here. You can't just look at raw volume and expect someone to like he's going to land 80 strikes, Trinaldo's going to land 40 because this guy lands double the strikes because the other guy's volume will go down, so it'll just kind of be close. But
Yeah. Despite
um,
my attempts, you shouldn't be able to go broke playing plus 150s into split decisions. Despite how well I'm doing at it.
well, I mean, uh, Joanna was clearly the wrong side against Zhang at plus 200, so you made an awful pick, and so did I on that one, right? But
I am shocked that Zhang didn't knock her out inside 2 rounds. Zhang having elite 400 strike cardio is just as big a shock as Joanna being able to survive a round at women's shortweight. Those are the exact same level of doubt.
yeah, um,
Yeah,
anyway, I know you're burning fuel about
yeah.
that fight, so I'm just not. I'm not gonna.
There's
I
no point
had
engaging in this.
yeah. I don't want to. I don't want you to go nuts. Walker and Krylov. Um, I I think
Krylov.
Krylov's the value side here personally.
Yeah,
Um,
same.
I I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see either guy wins, but I
Yeah.
kind of see this as a fight on who has more durability standing, and I trust Krylov's chin more.
Yeah,
Like, I think in a fight like this, I really look at chins because it's not always about, like, who hits harder or something. I think chins really matter in fights like this, and I trust Krylov. I think they can both land, and I trust Krylov to survive, and I don't trust Walker to. But at the same time, who the fuck knows? You know, it's light heavyweight. Both guys will be kind of throwing. Both
yeah,
Walker's a little unpredictable, but I just think Krylov's like the better overall fighter. Um,
yeah.
but yeah,
That's kind of broadly my opinion. Like, I feel like Krylov's got a bit more margin for error, which, in the 50, I think it's going to be sort of wild 50-50 at the baseline, but Krylov's got a bit more margin for error. He is slash it was the dog. Like, I got plus 137.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
plus 137, the coin flip makes sense. I don't think necessarily durability matters too much of what Walker does, because the way Walker hits you, it's not like one of those things where it's just like just having a good chin. Like,
true.
none of Walker's knockouts in the UFC have been good chin issues. Like, Serkinov is chinny, but I don't think anybody survives that.
Yeah, yeah, you're probably right. Like,
Like,
I I hear you.
but and also I like the fact that Krylov will actually go for grappling and like actually go for top position, because like he's most likely not going to get knocked out from top position. Like
Yeah,
this particular matchup, I bottom mount knockout for Walker wouldn't shock me, but like in a glass cannon fight, if one is actually willing to take it to the ground and thus give themselves that level of insurance, it's worth a lot to me.
yeah.
And even standing, I'd lean. I think Walker just has less margin for error, and Krylov will come out intense.
Yeah. I mean, either guy can win this.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, I wouldn't go heavy on either side. Just it's kind of it's not like very process driven of a fight, you know. Um,
Yeah,
I just I just trust Krylov like a little more. Like I don't know. For some reason, I think he's gonna knock Walker out, but I don't. I'm not playing this
yeah.
fight or anything. But I think if you got on Krylov as like a bigger dog, I think that was probably the right play. But who the fuck knows? No interest in playing it. Moicano and Damir. I think Moicano is rightfully favored.
Yeah,
Uh, I do think Moicano's chin has been a little concerning, like the fact you know that he's been knocked out a
yeah,
couple times recently, so, like, I could see the hesitancy, but, like, I wouldn't stick him in a parlay or anything personally,
yeah.
but, like, I think he's the better fighter, definitely, like, if he kinda shows up and he just survives.
I'm more concerned of just like Moicano's fight IQ, because I just Moicano has games here, which would be like minus 500. Like if he goes leg kicky outside blind game, or if he like takes Hadjvik down, because Hadjvik's awful off his back.
Yeah.
But if Moicano just decides to do it against Korean Zombie or Aldo, he just kind of sat in the pocket. I just feel like Hadjik does hit hard.
Yeah, exactly, that's like the like, this is an MMA type of win condition where, like, shit just happens, you know?
Yeah, like we could see Moicano come out and start throwing front kicks and looking like Travis Brown. It does happen.
Yeah,
Like, despite the fact that Moicano's got multiple minus 500 win paths, he might just ignore them. He might decide I'm brawling to death.
yeah.
But yeah, that'd be my hesitance in playing current price Moicano, but Moicano should win it.
I do think you can find much safer -350s for, like, parlay
Yeah.
legs for people who wanna find them, like, just, like, very good dominant grapplers or something, like, who consistently go to their game, you know? Um,
Like even Moicano Korean Zombie, like Moicano Korean Zombie had just gone, if Moicano had just gone to the logical Stevens game plan against Korean Zombie, I don't think Korean Zombie would have any solutions for it. But instead, he just kind of wandered into the pocket and got knocked out in the first 5 fucking seconds.
yeah, he walked right into the pocket. Yeah. I
Like, I
mean,
mean,
like, dude,
Korean
go on.
Korean Zombie has less tools to deal with the Stevens game plan than Stevens.
Yeah, think about, like, Moicano, like, at his best, he's a monster. I mean, dude, he fucked Swanson up and, like, dude, he beat the fuck out of Calvin Kattar, and Calvin Kattar's, I think, pretty good, you know?
Yeah,
Like Calvin Kattar's solid. Like he's a very solid featherweight, I
yeah.
think. And he's got good cardio, good volume, like good technical boxing, good straight punching. And Moicano lit him up and followed a good game plan in that. in that too. He
Yeah.
kind of found the home for the leg kicks and kept going to him. But even in the boxing, he like beat up
Yeah.
Cater. Yeah. So
I mean, a lot of that was once the leg was compromised, though.
true. Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Um,
Moicano, Moicano's rocked out with incredible game plans twice. Like against Stevens and against Cater, he showed a lot of understanding of the sport. He did the right thing. Even against Ortega, he kind of did the right thing for most of the fight. He just kind of got Ortega. Sometimes you get dragged into a land war in Asia. But his
yeah.
last two fights, he's kind of been a dumb fuck, and that's kind of, that makes me hesitant because like Hadjivik could just Korean zombie lamp him.
To be fair, they kind of ended early, especially in Zombie. It's like, but
Oh yeah,
yeah. So like, I mean, if the fight went 5 more minutes, maybe he fought a really good game plan type of thing. But yeah, it just it is what it is. I mean, he should win the
yeah,
majority of the time for sure.
yeah.
Burns, what's
I'm
up?
just annoyed by Moicano against Korean Zombie in particular because I felt like that was a massively favourable matchup. He just did the dumbest possible thing.
Yeah,
Like he gave Korean Zombie his very limited win condition.
yeah,
But anyway, it happens.
yeah, for sure. Burns and Maia, I think Burns is the rightful favorite. I'm fine with the
Yeah,
price. I mean, the fact that there could be a lot of neutralization, like I don't think either guy is going to sub each other. Just for
yeah,
anyone who's watching, I don't think either guy can sub each other. And um, the fact that Burns, that's the thing about Maia though. It's like the fact that Burns has like a pretty noticeable advantage on the feet as far as like athleticism and just like power, closing distance, just like a better, more dangerous striker. And the fact that there will probably be a lot of neutralization going on makes me kind of think like Burns should just win fine. But
yeah,
I do like Maia is a pretty like if Maia gets top time, I think that's kind of his win condition, just to get a lot of top time. Um, and I guess I mean, Prazeres did kind of out wrestle Burns a little bit, but it was a while ago, and I haven't seen. You saw a little bit of a few wrestling exchanges with Burns and Gunner, but not enough for me to kind of really know. I watched Burns and Shields in that grappling tournament, and Burns dominated the top position battle. So like that's kind of a good sign for Burns as far as like not
yeah,
losing the bottom position. But like I tend to think he should win, but like I think there is a little bit of unknown. Like Burns might end up looking like a monster favorite. But
yeah.
I don't know for
The
sure.
the way I see it, I feel like Burns has a lot more scoring potential here too. Like
Yeah.
Maia's probably not going to tap him.
No.
So
He's
really,
not.
Maia's going to need top position. And like
Yeah.
Burns, you think as long as Burns is throwing any strikes whatsoever, he should like be winning that phase.
Yeah, because
So
like
like,
even if he gets taken down later, like anything he does on the feet at some point will help, can
yeah,
like compensate for that. And then if he wins the top position battle, good there, obviously.
and Maia's cardio is on top of that.
True.
So it's just kind of like I just feel like Burns is kind of should be locked on to win round three, just because Myers doesn't really have cardio in a competitive grappling match or
Yeah.
even any sort of competitive anything. And Burns should be throwing strikes. And like if Burns gets top position in round one or two, he pretty much immediately wins the fight, just because I can't see Maya pulling it back from that point. I think
I
Maya kind of has to win the first two rounds.
I feel like the first round's very important. I feel like if Burns can stop takedowns right away, Maya's completely fucked. Because
Even
like
if Burns just hurts him badly at any point or anything like that, it's just like how does Maya make up the gap?
Maya lands like a lot more first round takedowns than like later in the fight because A is cardio, and I feel like he does the same thing. He does a single leg literally every
Yeah.
time he shoots, and I feel like you could even see it with against Matt Brown. Like later in the fight, Maya's takedown success was going down because when you see the same shot like 9 times in a row, I feel like the opponent can kinda get a read on it a little more. Like, you probably know this as a grappler, just, like,
Yeah.
when you kinda keep going with someone on takedowns and it's just one shot, it's not like there's, like, takedown variety. Like, if Maia had 7 different ways, he could probably keep taking someone down the same success later. But yeah, I think that's a thing because he just goes for single legs. But I feel like if Burns just kind of stops him right away, he'll fuck him up. Or like you said, if he hurts him. But I think the price is fine. I could see
Yeah.
Burns just like murdering him as just. I think it's gonna go the distance, though, personally.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of the same lane. Like, I'll probably play a little bit of Burns round 3 just in case. Like, I've generally played, like, opponents against Maia round 3 props just 'cause I feel like there's a good chance that, eventually it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I remember I had, like, plus 20,000 on Colby round 3 sub, and I was screaming at him to go for a rear naked choke. Like, remember how corpsey Maia was in round 3?
He honestly could have been tapped just because he was dead. Like,
Yeah, pretty much. Like, if
he
Colby
wasn't
just gored for a rear naked choke, what was Maia gonna do about it?
imagine it I mean, he would have stopped Maia if that was 5 rounds, for sure.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, Maia was gone.
Yeah, he was gone. Maia's only been finished I mean, he's never been subbed, obviously, and he's been finished one time, Nate Marquardt in, like, 2009 or 2 like, a long time
Yeah,
ago.
like 10-second
Um,
knockout.
yeah, it was just one straight right down the pipe.
Yeah,
I remember
yeah.
watching that live, I was like, "Holy shit." Um And, like, it's crazy he's never been like, it's crazy he's never been finished if you think of the, like, disadvantage he's on the feet every single time, like, and he's, like, 40 something it's kind of incredible that he's never been finished before, um, since that at least. But,
Yeah.
Lee Oliveira, this is another one, like, I think this is a high variance. Um,
Stupid
I
glass cannon fight.
I could see either guy winning a decision, I could see either guy getting a knockout, I could see getting a sub.
I can't really see how I couldn't personally see all decision just because I feel like it would be such a weird sequence of events.
I
Like,
mean,
how has Lee lost 3 rounds and survived? Kind of like maybe if Oliveira was playing like conservative range kickboxing, maybe.
Yeah,
But like,
I'm not saying they're all, like, equal chances,
yeah,
I, like, favor some of the win paths obviously way higher. I'm just saying, like, I've like, there's sometimes you could be like, I don't know, when someone's fighting Maia, you could be like, "There's no way they're subbing them," you know? Or
yeah,
like, Romero generally is not gonna win many decisions, you know? Like,
yeah,
with this one, like, I could see a world where if it's like a range kickboxing fight where, like, Oliveira wins, you know?
yeah.
But I mean, I don't expect this to go to the cards though, but I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't be shocked by any outcome at all. I would be
Oh,
like
100%.
I would be a little more surprised by some than others, but, like, there's sometimes you can seriously eliminate win conditions to, like, under 1%, where I don't think you can do that here.
Yeah, no, pretty much agreed. Yeah, I kind of lean Lee just because I feel like he'll take initiative a bit more, but like Oliveira is very good, dangerous in every phase. I just think it's gonna be a stupid glass cannon fight. I played a little bit of Lee sub because it was like plus 800,
Yeah.
and I was just like, yeah, I don't mind Lee sub at plus 800.
I kind of
Like,
think if Oliveira kinda just doesn't get taken out in the first, like, 2 rounds, I think Oliveira's gonna get him. That's what I think. Um,
yeah, true, but Oliveira
I
does
just
collapse mentally.
true, but, like, the thing is, I just feel like I think Oliveira's gonna sub him personally.
Yeah,
I
I'm not saying he won't.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Like, but, like, I mean, if Lee won too, I wouldn't be shocked. I think this is seriously high variance. I'm just saying, like, my gut feeling. It's just I don't think Lee just, like, the way RDA so easily passed, like, kinda later in the fight, I know Lee kind of exhausted himself for takedowns, and I don't think he'll be like, I think Lee's gonna come out and strike, you know? Um
Yeah,
so I don't think he'll exhaust himself as much, but I just feel like at some point, if Lee just slows down a little bit, he's going to be vulnerable, and just
yeah,
like Oliveira has very like crafty little jujitsu takedowns. Like I've always been a proponent of his takedowns because I think just because he's going against like a good wrestler, uh, his TDs are kind of unconventional, and I think they're hard to defend because you're not
yeah,
really used to them. And I could just see like one little takedown and like a dom sub too. So,
yeah.
but I don't know. Like I wouldn't be surprised honestly if Lee just beat the fuck out of him. Too. Um,
Yeah, my sort of gut feeling is Lee will take the initiative, and like, yeah, obviously if Oliveira's still around after 10 minutes, I think Oliveira takes over. But I don't can I rely on Oliveira to be dominated for 10 minutes?
yeah. Can he really
Like,
dominate Oliveira though? In like the first 10, like he might. Like just like as a striker, these guys very. I think it's like kind of close.
if he just takes Oliveira down and like sort of hulks him, I think Oliveira will be like, yeah, Felder did it to fucking
Good.
Oliveira. Like
Yeah.
Oliveira historically has wilted.
The
Like
thing about does Lee have the submission defense of like a Felder though? Like Felder honestly was in a lot of deep subs. Like I feel like if Oliveira gets Lee there, it could just be over. Like in any of them.
but like Oliveira took Felder down and then like got very deep subs and then lost the subs and then just gave up and just collapsed mentally.
Yeah.
I
But
think
no,
if Lee's actually the one taking Oliveira down, I think that's a different situation to what Felder
it
was
could
doing.
be. True. True.
Like
Yeah.
Felder was getting absolutely jacked for the first 2 minutes, and then just Oliveira mentally collapsed.
Yeah.
Like
I could
I'm
see
just
another guy mentally collapsing here. That's
oh
like
100%.
that's another reason I'm
I,
like, this is a stay away. Like, I don't even know.
it's a
Um,
glass cannon fight. It's just two glass cannons.
what are the props? Like, I feel like the props will be the interesting parts of this. Um,
RTD is like I'm just not picking off any wide drop plus 800. I was happy with, and it came down a bit. Oliveira KO plus 700 is probably so interesting. Like I just feel like any sort of RTD sort of variant here, if it's wide, I'll just take it.
yeah,
Uh,
a wide inside the distance. Yeah, I agree.
like under 2.5 minus 150 even. I don't mind that. Like what's RTD now? RTD was like RTD opened at like minus 250, and I was like, yeah, if I could get actual volume from that, I would slam it.
I think it's like 80%.
Yeah, I think it's mad. The only way I see this going RTD is if somehow Lee got like 15 minutes of top control or something, or even like 20 minutes. Yeah, if Lee was just sort of lame praying him. I
And
just
then
feel
there's
like,
like weird conservative kickboxing exchanges.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I just they're both kind of chinny. They're both they're both sort of A plus offensive strikers, like in terms of like damage output, and D minus chins. And even on the grappling, they're both kind of like A plus offensive, and like Oliveira gets tapped for no reason all the time. It's just a lost cannon fight.
It's gonna be hilarious because like whoever wins, the side will like everyone. There's a thing with like MMA Twitter where one outcome happens and they think that's just how it happens every. But like the best example of how that's just not the case. You know Kennedy versus that. You know Kennedy. What he's in PFL now. Fuck.
Jeremy
What's
Kennedy?
Yeah, Jeremy Kennedy fought this dude, and he was minus 400 in PFL over this Brazilian guy.
Yeah,
The Brazilian guy knocked him out like Jan Corey Anderson style, like right
yeah,
away, like a minute in.
yeah.
They were
23 seconds.
they were even money the next fight, and I slammed Kennedy's line, and he just murdered him in the grappling, like you would
Yeah,
expect, right? And
yeah.
he looked like a minus 400 round winner, and like it's like if you I like why would you randomly take not bet the 20% guy, but then after a minute of just like a random knockout, then take that guy at 50%. Like after like a minute samples, it's just that PFL format is like you have so many people fighting each other in like a close window. You see how outcomes are a thing. It's not you can't just look at like one outcome and think that's how it's going to happen, you
Wasn't
know?
there a rush out? There was also like a rush out series fight like that, so or like
Yes.
rematch like that.
Yeah, so he
Rush
lost.
out.
He got guillotined by this Tiller.
Yeah,
He got guillotined, and then I played Rochelle as a dog next fight, and he was like plus 190 or something, and then he won via wrestling, just dominance, like he won every second of the round. Um,
yeah. Like he went from minus 300 the first time around to plus 180 the second time around.
yeah, and it wasn't like if somebody wins an entire round, like an entire fight, like 3 to 5 rounds as an underdog, I can
Yeah,
see a shift in the line. I would be like, okay, that makes sense. Like they answered questions we didn't know going in, or they like really improved. But just like a quick finish, that's when lines get fucked up. That's when
yeah.
lines become off, and you get a monster underdog who's a round winner as like a great value play. But yeah,
Yeah,
but
like a fight I wouldn't be shocked to see in the future. Hernandez versus Dariush too. What are the
yeah,
prices going to be like for that?
I don't know.
Like
Hernandez
I do think
actually it'd
Dariush is
probably be
very
close
fragile
now.
though.
It would be close now, don't you think?
Yeah, but I feel like even if it's like evens, it's a lot. Actually, Darius seems very fragile. Like that close knockout was kind of a miracle comeback.
Yeah.
Like he pretty much he just sort of swung blind and then clipped close, in my opinion. And that was on Darius.
It's like that Spike Carlisle guy next fight is
Yeah,
gonna be like plus 150 versus someone who's good. And because of like a random meme head kick, you know?
pretty much. It happens.
That's just how shit happens. But
I Yeah, I'd rather lose in a random meme round first round. Like my thing is always the preservation of value. When your guy gets like meme knocked out or meme KO'd within 30 seconds, you're not really losing any value, or the fade on the opponent will probably even be better the next fight
exactly.
because the
Yeah.
market will overreact. But when you like lose like a garbage split decision or like a robbery sort of situation, like Hernandez versus Trinaldo, I had an insight Trinaldo should not be plus 200 because
Yeah.
Hernandez isn't that good.
Yeah.
Now the market knows Hernandez isn't that good.
And so you're fucked going forward too.
Yeah, so like if Hernandez just killed him in 30 seconds, I would have been a lot better off because I would just be, I rolled it over to the next one.
Yes.
Whilst Hernandez Trinaldo, like, when you lose a split decision like that, it's just kind of like, well, for fuck's sake, I've lost my insight, I've lost my value for no
Yes.
payment.
Yeah.
Or even like, someone like Ryan Adams versus that's Tarfa. Like, there's certain people who now respect Tarfa when he still can't grapple.
Well, he's that's gonna work in your favor and my favor
Yeah,
because eventually,
yeah,
like Tafa's gonna fight someone who can grapple a little bit, and he's gonna get dominated on the mat.
pretty much. Like,
Like,
completely annihilated.
and his next like two, like if he just happens to fight someone who decides to grapple, he's gonna get beat up there. Um,
Yeah,
so yeah, I mean, but that's like, but you have to like take that into account. Like even when you like lose on a bet, you have to like you kind of put that on the back of your mind. You're like, okay,
yeah,
like I know this guy's going to be overvalued next time, and then when you catch the line that comes out, and they are, you can kind of take advantage. Um, and
true. But then again, you could also do the opposite thing where say, Tarfa versus Adams. Tarfa's next fight is against some stupid, brawler sort of heavyweight.
yeah,
Coin flip fight, the other heavyweight wins, and then Tarfa is just like roundly plus 300 against the next grappler who's fighting, not because of the grappling aspect, just because he lost his last fight.
yeah, like records are a thing that always like people will just kind of if so like if Marab Casey Kenny was an example where
Yeah,
I was like, this line's way off. It's because Marab randomly had 2 losses. And the funny thing is, in his first 2 fights, there was a decision that he lost against Signs when he probably should have won. Gotten that
yeah,
decision, he would have been a bigger favorite. And
yeah,
also, if the ref would have decided to let it go to the cards against Simone, he would have also won, right? And that would have changed the line. But because like one single individual in the world who was the referee decided to wave it off, which like I think was justifiable personally. Like
yeah,
I think you could have let it go to the cards. I think you could have ended. I don't really care. But
yeah,
that one decision made like and then you combine both of those, so it looked like he had a 2-2 record when like if you look at it not taking into account the judges and that referee in the second fight, he's put up like incredible performances.
yeah.
And that's all that matters going forward. It's not like a win-loss record where
Or
and
even
so
like,
and then it happened the other way with Kenny Borg. Like that was a very close fight that could have went Borg's way, and he got overvalued because 3 judges decided to give it to him. You know?
yeah, or even like Khabib. Like, if Khabib had lost that TVL decision, which probably the current interpretation would be the correct decision. I wonder how Khabib's
Yeah,
price would have gone for like the last 4 or 5 years
yeah.
if that zero was a one, or just on like essentially on an arbitrary, very close fight.
He's been on enough streak to probably eliminate it, though. You know, like
But like, I'm pretty sure like within like the year or two after that, like in this fight, next fight, after, he probably would have had like a random value shift or whatever.
oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, just it's crazy how just like on a split decision, how someone's odds shift like 5% one way and the winner gets like 5% the other, and it's just like one dude who's a judge who decides that. You know,
Yeah,
it's crazy. It's crazy that like because it's funny because we talk about how incompetent the judges are, but the betting market still gives huge, like, credence, just, they give, like,
Yeah,
a lot of credence to a win-loss record that's a lot of them are decided by that incompetent judge, you know? It's kinda just
yeah.
a funny thing.
Not even necessarily
But yeah.
incompetent. Yeah, sometimes sometimes a split decision.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sometimes it can be a rightful split decision, just a close fight, you know?
Like Zhang's or Joanna, where I was fine with the split decision, but
Yeah.
like depending who actually wins the split decision, the price can go off in all sorts of ways in the future.
Well, now that Zhang won, she's gonna be, like, -190 versus Tatiana Suarez, and if she would have lost, what would it have been? Like, closer, you know?
Yeah,
And, like, that
or
fight
even
easily
like
happened either
or the
way.
Andrade fight, like the Andrade fight. Like I remember chatting to people last year about possibly Zhang versus Joanna being made. You know, I got told -200 Joanna. Then the
Yeah,
Andrade fight happens.
and then it was -250 Zhang
Yeah,
close.
yeah,
I I talked to, like, a couple bookmakers about that fight, and,
yeah,
like, that was all, like, casual, like,
yeah.
money. Yeah,
Just
yeah, and, like,
massive money.
yeah, and, like, they had a lot of exposure to Joanna because they, like,
Yeah,
they didn't think the true line was correct, like, when they
yeah,
'cause they have opinions, like,
yeah,
Floyd, they don't control the betting lines, like, Floyd
yeah,
Mayweather, read an article about that, they thought the line should have been over -10,000, like, they were like, "It's,
yeah,
like, over 95." Like 95% is minus 2,000. They thought it was much higher than that. Like they thought it was like 97, 98, 99 range. And the money kept coming on McGregor and they got scared that or no, they opened it at minus 900 or
yeah,
minus 800 or something, and they were scared to do that, but the money kept coming on McGregor to where they had such a huge liability, and they wanted Floyd to win, and the same thing happened with Joanna saying
yeah,
that same thing happened where they thought more money would come in on Joanna, and it was like a lot of sharp accounts hit her, and then a lot of,
yeah,
like, casual money came in on Zhang, and it never came on Joanna. It's crazy.
yeah. That well happens. It's a strange pivoty game, but
Oh, yeah, I'm just, like, pointing it out that happened, you
yeah,
know, 'cause that's just what I
yeah,
was told.
yeah.
Yeah.
I heard similar things from my sort of like guys who are like Unibet and sort of some of the bigger Aussie books that said sort of similar perspectives of it, which is always annoying when they have to go out and all them.
Yeah.
But yeah, probably a good spot to finish this week's edition.
Yeah, yeah, cool. We'll end it, and hopefully this event goes on, and, I mean, we should be back next week assuming the world does not turn into full I Am Legend, and a zombie apocalypse happens, you know? So
Yeah,
hopefully we should be back.
yeah. All right, all good. Nice talk, nice chat. Thanks for listening.
Cool.
See ya.
Yep.